Hi, I'm Laura. I wanted to give you guys a little tour of my kitchen. This is a 20-year-old home that we thought we would one day get around to changing our old brown granite countertops and maybe put in some new appliances and keep everything the way it was and just paint the cabinets. But I ran into a friend of mine who had used Mr. Cabinet Care twice before. One of her jobs was 20 years before. And I called her one day and said, you know, do you still like the product? And she was just effusive, asked me if I wanted to come over and see, and of course I said yes. So after we walked through her kitchen, I called them out for an estimate, and I dealt with Juan first. He came out a couple of times actually to help me walk through some design features in the house. And what I really wanted to do is just to see if replacing or doing a refacing of my cabinets would be worth a little bit of extra money versus painting them. And what I found and what I got really excited about was that I wasn't going to have to go through all that mess in the house of having everything repainted. One of the really clever things that I love that they did was that they suggested that instead of having cabinet doors that opened and rollouts that pulled out, because I'm always digging in the back for things I can't find, was to have drawers. So they changed everything out on the lower to be these new, fantastic, very strong box-built drawers that soft close. Everything soft closes. The doors, we got all new drawers and cabinet doors, and the price differential for that, because it was a reface instead of replacing all the cabinets, versus painting it and still having all the old doors, really was worth it in a house with a kitchen this size. 20-year-old kitchen now looks like no way is it 20 years old. We took some cabinet drawers, and we turned them into a big trash pull-out. We took our drop-in cooktop and changed it into a range front and added two big drawers on the bottom so I could just put all my utensils in there, some anyway, the ones I use the most. And this I love, and this was actually something where I gave the guy the bottle and said, I want to be able to put a tall bottle of oil in there and shut the door. So when I'm cooking, everything's just right at my fingertips. The other thing I really love is this. We took our microwave out. I wanted to kind of have an intentional looking coffee station because we do a lot of entertaining. And you know, just do it in a different way. I don't have one of those super expensive coffee makers, but what I did was put the coffee maker down here and the sugar and cream, and then people can just help themselves. And then on the top, you kind of can change stuff out seasonally or just, you know, have something decorative and cute to look at. And they put the lighting in here, and everything under the counter turns on with one flip of a switch. It's fantastic. I love it. These used to be clear doors, and shutting this off and making this more of a focal piece, to me, it's like one of the prettiest parts of this kitchen now. We dealt with a lot of people. I've got a cheat sheet. If you go online, you can see a really long review I did on the 21st and 20th of April. It goes into all the detail about what we did in here. And I thought that would be important to mention because we did a lot of modifications. And I don't know of any other company that could have done everything we asked for. They will flat out tell you they just don't do that much modification. But there wasn't anything that I asked for that they couldn't do. We also took our double oven and converted it to an oven with a convection micro on the top, and then added another drawer down below. I mean, we just did all these little things that made it feel like in the end that this was like a really custom rebuilt kitchen instead of just a reface. And I feel like I'm living in a model home. I mean, it just came out fantastic. From tip to tail, everybody that I dealt with, from the design team to the survey team, Juan and Nick and all the people in the office, Sandy, Monique, Michael, Christine, Priscilla, Amber, everybody there, when they came out and started the job and Luis and Saul showed up for the demo, I remember joking with them and saying, I feel like everybody I deal with knows my job. Like, you guys actually sat down in a room and talked about me. And they kind of laughed and said, well, that's actually what we do. And you could see it through the entire job. Every single person who came in called, introduced themselves before they arrived. And what was really nice too is that they all knew what the other one was doing. It's something really to be said if you do any kind of remodeling jobs, you know that you don't want finger pointing. And what happens when they come in is everybody knows what the next guy's doing. And they do the job where they're supposed to, so the next guy can just come right in and pick up where the other person left off. I don't know, we could not have had a better experience in that regard. Everybody who came through here was really good at what they did. Saul is absolutely fantastic. We had Jose do all of our tile work, and hopefully you'll be able to see it in the pictures. The way he cut in for this molding was amazing. Just incredible craftsmanship. Marcos and Fausto and Jonathan and Edgar, everybody who came in on the finishing team, they just did a great job. Everybody was very clean. I love the zip walls they use. It was literally unbelievable how not traumatizing the whole thing was. And this was a major, big kitchen to be doing. So I would, my hat's off to them. I love my kitchen. I'm enjoying it, and we love to entertain. So we've got all these great new features, and people are coming in all the time asking us, how did this go? And you know, we have a lot of friends who have had remodeling jobs with horror stories, and we're feeling a little guilty, but we're very excited that we don't have one at all.